Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, have I got something interesting for you. First off, welcome to the Nightshade Unofficial Workshop, and welcome to today's unboxing video. Want to check this guy out. I was cruising through Walmart and heading through their Halloween section, and I've seen this guy. This is their brand, or the Celebrate brand, which I'm assuming is Walmart. It's a 400 watt Upshot fog machine. I have actually never seen Walmart carry something like this before, and I thought it would be interesting to take a look at it. For those of you who don't know what an Upshot fog machine is, well, it's simple. It's a fog machine, but instead of shooting out, it shoots up, just like you see in the picture there. Now, we've used Upshot fog machines plenty before in the past, and actually our workhorses for that is this guy right here. This is the ADJ, or American DJ, Fog Fury Jet. Now this is definitely a little bit more on the professional level, whereas this is just your regular retail level. So obviously it's not going to compare to these machines, but I just wanted to see if it's worth it. You know, if you're looking for an Upshot fog machine that you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on, maybe this might be the guy for you. So first off, let's go over price point. Obviously, it says right on the box, 35 bucks. You know, comparatively to this machine right here, where you're going to pay retail probably around $400. It's quite the difference. And usually, what I'll say with this kind of stuff is you really do get what you pay for. You know, when it comes to special effects and this kind of stuff, you really don't want to cheap out all the time. I feel in the long run, most of the time you're going to be disappointed in one way or another. But, I mean, and then that's not always the case, so that's why we're going to check this guy out. So, anywho, I have not even got this guy out of the box yet, so I haven't tested it, haven't done anything with it. So if it sucks or if it's awesome, we're going to find out together. So let's go ahead and open her up. Now, if you are brand new to fog machines, obviously instructions are recommended. You know, these things in a lot of ways are pretty bulletproof, but also in a lot of other ways they can, you know, things can get messed up. They do produce heat, so you want to be careful about that. And you know, if you're concerned about any sort of toxicity with the fog or anything like that, you know, this will put your worries to rest, I guess. Long story short, it's not toxic. It's safe. So. Oh man. Packaging is fun. You know, I really don't think they wanted me to get this thing out of here. Whatever, I'm not returning it, right? Alright, let's get some of this garbage out of here. So, first off, let's see what comes in the package. Obviously, the machine itself, and it's really quite compact. Which, I mean, it's a 400 watt fog machine. It's on the same level as those fog machines you would usually see at Walmart. You know, about yay big, etc. Kind of looks cool. Fade and flash. I don't know what that does. We're going to find out together. So, obviously, it comes with the machine. It comes with, looks like a wireless remote, which is nice. I was half expecting it to be a wired remote, but it is wireless. The other nice thing is it does come with batteries. Let's go ahead and get those installed while we are thinking about it. All right. So, looking at it initially, it's very lightweight. And that's a good thing and potentially a bad thing at the same time. It's definitely not going to be made out of your heavy-duty materials such as your more professional ones. This guy, I'd say that weighs between 10 and 20 pounds, whereas this, I don't know, a couple pounds maybe. So, anywho. Well, so there's your size comparison. Now, the thing about these fog machines, or these Upshot fog machines, unlike your regular fog machines, they actually come with some LED lights on them. So if you see, so this is the spout, and you see you got 1, 2, 3 LED lights on it. Your bigger machines are going to have quite a few more lights, and a lot bigger on the lights. And so, yeah. All right. So, I guess next thing's next. Let's get these guys plugged in, and let's see what you do. While they're heating up, take this minute to talk about a few things like fluid, for example. Now, depending on what you're using these machines for, there's going to be a couple different types of fluid that you can put in these things. If you're looking for a big, huge spout of thick fog and the fog kind of lingers, there's fog fluid for that. If you're looking for more of a quick burst, maybe using it as a jump scare, or just a brief effect, and or maybe you're using it inside and you don't want to fog the place out, there's fog fluids for that too. So today, both of these machines are actually loaded with this stuff. It's by Master Effects. It's called Cryo Burst, and this stuff is designed to imitate, well, like I said, it's a cryogenic burst. So, like if we were using CO2, so it's going to give a moderately thick plume, but it's going to dissipate really quick in a matter of seconds. So that way, you can use it inside, and you're not going to fog the place out. Or if you're doing it outdoors, you can use it without blinding somebody. But on the other hand, if you are looking for that really thick, whiteout, blinding fog, you can get stuff for that too. We use that as well in our other machines, and so this is a good example of it. This is Bog Fog by Froggy's Fog. This stuff creates a very thick fog. It actually advertises on the website whiteout conditions, and it really does. And it lingers. I believe the hang time is about, I think, 1 hour. Now that is if the fog isn't affected by wind. So obviously if you're outside and you got a bit of a breeze, it's not going to last an hour, it's going to go away. But if you're inside, or if you're outside and you don't have a breeze, it'll hang around for quite a while. So, like I said, today we have the cryo burst loaded in these guys because we are doing it inside. And yeah, we are just waiting for them to heat up. So we'll talk about control here for a second. So obviously this guy is controlled via remote, and even this guy is controlled via remote in this mode that is set in. So there's a lot of things that separate the retail versus professional machines, and control is one of them. So in addition to your remote controls, this guy is also capable of running DMX, which DMX, if you're unfamiliar with, is what it's a control system used for professional lighting and effect shows. Obviously, for Halloween, you're most likely not going to be using DMX, but you have the option if you're also interested in maybe DJing or something like that. Now, one thing I just noticed with this guy right here, it's not just the remote. You can actually go out and buy, careful with this guy, it's heating up. So you see this little plug-in right here. You can go out and buy separately, it doesn't come with it, one of those control units that you might see on a normal fog machine. The one that, it has the timer and the buttons on it. So you can go out and get one of those for this. which is cool. If yeah, I might actually look into that. For what we're doing for this year Halloween, it might be handy to have this guy kind of on its own automatic timer. So, if you can actually see by the green light on this thing that just popped up right here, this guy is ready to go. Meanwhile, the bigger machine is not quite there yet, which makes sense. This pushes a lot more fog, a lot more fluid through it, so the heating element is quite a bit beefier. It takes some time to heat up. Now, on the side of the box for this one, it actually says it comes with multiple colors. I don't exactly know how that works, seeing that the remote only has the one button. But I'll delve into the instructions here shortly and figure that out. So, let's see. Our big one's still heating up, so I'm going to give it just a few more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and give it that test. Alrighty, so our machines have heated up. They're ready to go. Well, one thing I have already noticed. So this one, the Walmart machine, it was the first machine to heat up and be ready to go. But while we were waiting for this one to heat up, this one actually cooled off enough to the point where it had to stop and reheat, and that was without even using it. So unfortunately, that's kind of given us it's already given us a sign that it's kind of got a bit of a weak heating element to it, which is very unfortunate. If you're in the middle of a Halloween scene or something like that, the last thing you want is your machine to stop and try to reheat while you're trying to use it, trying to scare somebody, etc., etc. But anywho, let's go check it out. So, remote here, and we are in fade mode. There's fade and flash. I'll show you the difference here. So we'll go ahead and engage it. Now, as you can see, it works all right, but that's a pretty thin stream of fog, and I mean, as you can hear, it was kind of doing a bit of a chugging motion. It wasn't giving a consistent stream. It was kind of, chugging along, and I don't know what that is about. That could be a sign of maybe the pump is not the greatest. But yeah, that's that. So the difference between fade and flash mode, we'll go ahead and put it into flash. So as you saw when it was in fade mode just now, it goes with a red color. Now there might be a way to change that. I'm gonna have to read into it and see, but it was just staying red. Now in flash mode, when you turn it on, you can see it alternates between the three main colors, red, green, blue. So there's no real control over it, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, I don't know if the camera can see it. It's actually entered into another reheating mode. So it's going to have to sit until it reheats. So now let's take a look at the big guy here. So let's just take a look at the difference. Quite a spectacular difference, actually. And the other main difference between that one and this one, whereas the Walmart has the one button and you get the one function, this machine you actually get four buttons, A, B, C, and D, and it changes the color. So A is purple, B is green, C is red, and D is kind of a flame orange. Now, with this machine, you can actually get whatever color you want. There's a little control panel in here. It takes a little bit of reading up on how to do it. It can be a little bit complicated, but you can go in and adjust the colors by fine. What am I trying to say here? By fine tweaks, I guess. So you can literally get whatever color you want from the spectrum, and then you can go in and assign it to one of these four channels. You could even do it so that it does just fog and no color. So that's another cool option. So yeah, I guess the other thing to test is let's see how long they'll go before they need to reheat once they're running. So I'm going to turn this one on. I'm going to set the remote down and see how long it goes. Actually, you know what? Let's do this officially. Let's get ourselves a stopwatch going here. All right, so I'm going to hold this where the camera can see it. As soon as I turn it on, I'm just going to let it go till it stops. So 3, 2, 1. All right, so about 27 seconds, which, you know, is actually kind of impressive. I don't know if you noticed in that. So it started off doing that chugging sound that it did before, but then about halfway through it actually smoothed out. But yeah, 27 seconds, that's actually pretty impressive. I think that might actually outperform our Fog Fury here. So let's do the same thing. Just going to press and hold the button until it stops. 3, 2, 1. "14 seconds. So, you know what? It's about twice as long. Now, the difference is, and you can notice it in the camera here, the amount of output is significantly different. So, 27 seconds with that guy put about a quarter of the fog that 14 seconds did with this guy. Now, I'm going to reset my timer there. For these kind of fog machines, you're not actually looking to run them for extended periods of time like I just did. These machines are meant for you know, like I said, jump scares or, you know, burst effects and stuff like that. They're really meant to only pop and be gone. So, you know, running them for 30 seconds at a time isn't really realistic, at least for what I'm doing with them. You know, that may be different for you. But yeah, like we saw, 27 seconds of runtime on this one versus 14 on that one. But don't forget the huge difference in output. So, the next test we're going to do is actually going to be at nighttime. So, we're going to wait a few hours. We're going to wait for the sun to go down. I'm going to bring these guys outside. And we're going to check and see just how spectacular the lighting is on them. So, yeah. See ya. So, real quick, something I want to add before we take them outside. I want to talk about the heat on these guys. So remember, in the very beginning of this video, I mentioned that you want to be careful with them because they do generate heat. Now, some of these will generate more heat than others, and this guy in particular. So I have them turned off now, but when this guy was running, it almost burned my hand just touching it. And actually, it's got 5 or 6 screws on the top. Those screws actually became very hot, and they were, and actually, these machines have been off for about 10 minutes now, and yeah, I can only hold my finger on this screw for about a second or two before it starts to hurt. So this guy produces a lot of heat, and that kind of falls back to what I was talking about earlier. You know, this one is so lightweight versus the other one. There is insulation on these machines. And you know, the purpose is not only safety. You know, you want to insulate the heat so you're not burning things, but remember how I mentioned that this guy went into a stop and reheat period several times throughout testing, and I believe it's because this guy does not have any sort of insulation, so it bleeds the heat off pretty darn quick, and that can be a bit of an unfortunate thing during Halloween. You know, wherever you live might be different, but here in the Pacific Northwest where we are, it can get pretty cold. It can get down to freezing or even below freezing. So that tells me that this guy is going to spend a lot of time trying to reheat. Whereas this guy, even during operation, it still has, you know, the caution hot stickers on it. But whenever this guy's operating, I've always been able to touch it wherever, and it's just fine. That also means it's going to perform in colder conditions a lot better. So just keep that in mind if you do pick one of these guys up. You know, I know a lot of people want to put stuff like this in like a prop, you know, so something that's covering it. Just be careful. Make sure whatever you're putting on top of it, either A, can withstand the heat, you know, is not flammable, or B, you know, make sure it's not plastic, because it'll definitely melt it. I'm kind of surprised that our nylon tablecloth handled it so well. And, well, I mean, yeah, the bottom's cold to the touch, whereas the top is still hot. So, you know, cold sinks, heat rises. So, yeah, the top's going to be hot. So, yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. So, yeah. Now we'll wait for nighttime. Alright, now it's time to see what these guys look like in the dark. Now, I know originally I said I was going to bring these guys outside, but there seems to be an abundance of sprinklers running at the moment, so we're going to do it inside. Luckily, I can shut the lights off in here. It'll be just dark enough. And took my camera, moved it back, and raised it up, so should get a pretty good viewpoint. And once again, same problem I've been having this entire time. This machine was ready to go about a second ago, and now it's not. So I'm going to wait for that light to turn green again. We'll turn the lights off, and we'll get this guy tested. Make sure it's okay. There we go. Green light. Let there be dark. Alrighty, so first test is going to be the Walmart one. So I can't remember if I have it in flash or fade mode, so we'll see. Alrighty, so I'll talk to you while it's dark here. Actually, no, I'll turn the light on. So as you can see, it's not that impressive. I'll be blunt about it. Now, granted, you are looking through a camera. The lighting effects when it goes from dark to light is going to be a little bit wonky. So what you guys are seeing is not quite the same as what I'm seeing. But as lackluster as it looked for you, it looked the same for me. It was, again, I'm going to be blunt, it was pretty bad. Let's take a look at the big one. Alright, that was actually a pretty big difference. I didn't expect it to be that big of a difference. So with this machine, you could just barely see the fog. This machine, it lit up the whole room. You could see me again. So there you have it. We'll do one more test with this little guy. We'll switch it over to flash mode. That's where it changes between the three colors. I wanted to see just how close I needed to get for you guys to see me, and right here is pretty much it. You can just see my face. So, you know, that's yeah, I'd say that's a pretty big difference. Well, all right. So now we've seen them in action. We've seen what they do. We've seen what they don't do. And the question of the whole video, is it worth it? Honestly, I'm as negative as I sounded, I'm still gonna say it's worth it. For $35, it's a cool piece of tech. No, it's not gonna perform like these machines right here. But as I said in the beginning of the video, this is a difference between retail and professional. So I didn't expect them really to compare in the first place. So yeah, I think it's cool that Walmart is featuring this kind of stuff. This is the first year I've ever seen an Upshot fog machine come out of Walmart. So it's cool that they are making generic, more affordable versions of these. I hope to see more of them. Honestly, it will get used this year, and chances are I'll probably buy another one. But yeah, in the long run, it's really up to you whether you thought that was worth it or not. So, anywho, in the description, I am going to post a link to everything that's been featured here today. So I'm going to post a link for the American DJ Fog Fury Jet. I'm going to post a link for the Walmart brand Upshot fog machine. I'll post a link for the Master Effects Cryoburst. That's the fog fluid that we used today. And even though we didn't use it, I did mention it, so I'll post a link for the Froggy's Fog Bog Fog. I am definitely going to be doing a lot more fog machine related videos, so we will for sure showcase the Bog Fog, as well as a few others. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, if you found this video educational or any sort of entertaining, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any sort of questions, if there's something I didn't cover, anything you have comments about, feel free to shoot them down there in the comment section, and I'll do my best to address them. Also, head on over to our Facebook page, same name, Nightshade, Halloween, and Special Effects. We post a lot of stuff like this, as well as a lot of random stuff. Kind of our day-to-day, as well as for those of you who are local, those of you who are with us here in Spokane, Washington, we will be posting updates on our Halloween display here on the big night. And we will be posting with the location for that, as well as some other details. So, stay tuned. There's going to be plenty more content where this came from. We're brand new to YouTube. We're just starting out. I guess stay tuned. We'll bring you some more stuff.